for some more thrift store finds from the bargain bins again. We'll start with a handful of videos and then a lot of books and music stuff today. First off, from the History Channel. Back when the History Channel was actual history, we have Underground Railroad, documentary, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Funny Farm, Chevy Chase, the VHS find of the morning, definitely, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, the live stage. I used to have this and the music cassette and used to rock out to that when I was a little kid. We have just some old animation stuff with Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny, as well as one volume of the Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Crime Busters. Again, it's been odd the last couple of times we were there. The usual stacks of like hundreds and hundreds of DVDs I would come home with, really not there this time. Just a handful. We have Disney's Iron Will, which I vaguely remember. Like, obviously, you know what the story is, but this specific version of this type of story is the Iron Will. I remember watching that on VHS. The story of Jesus, Entrapment, Blu-ray of Blazing Saddles, and Our Family Wedding. And that was about it for the video stuff. Again, the last few times has been kind of a dud for that category that's the main thing. Kind of odd. Moving on to music, and then we'll get into a whole bunch of books, including some pretty interesting finds, actually. We have Simply Red and the B-52's Party Mix on CD. One record, Nancy Wilson, Just for Now. And then the rest were all cassettes. A whole bunch, like a massive variety of a bunch of different artists and like some Christmas themed ones. And what was nice about them is that like an entire bag full of them, just a couple of bucks. So you go through them, lot them up, just huge variety. You end up paying like less than a penny a piece. It's just, they're great cassettes. And the big thing individually though, which Amanda picked up, she was with me this time, with the original cassette release of Star Wars, the soundtrack. It's 1977, or was it 78 that the actual cassette came out, or was it actually 77? 77, so that was a great find. Like, this is the kind of thing where you pay less than a penny, and this by itself will sell for enough to pay for everything we got today, plus some. So, worth going through. Then the book stuff, probably one of my favorite finds. I love when I find really vintage stuff, because they're just fun to flip through, just to look through, and then when you pay just a couple of pennies, it's worth to like have the opportunity, just kind of like a rental, to check them out, and just they're fun to explore. Because this nature book, this Woods Illustrated Natural History, it's from, I forget off the top of my head, 1897. It's copyright. That's awesome. It's always great to hold, you know, a book that's over 100 years old, and it's fun to just look through and read and pass on to someone else. So that is one of the cool finds. Some other kind of generic fiction, just a good variety of stuff. That was the good thing with the books. Sometimes it's more just like, oh, a ton of kids books today, or tons of whatever. And this time it was just a big variety of all kinds of things for the Pengo and everywhere else. One Mercer Mayer. This was fun because it was completely unmarked. This vintage Nickelodeon Rugrats, this is the watercolors, painting book, 1997, and these are almost always have something colored in or used, and flipped the whole thing, and it was in pristine condition. So that was really cool. Any kind of vintage Nickelodeon stuff. And then this old Walt Disney's Disneyland book. Again, these are fun to flip through and see how little piece of history, see how things have changed. This Henry Goes West, which Amanda was cracking up looking at this one. The author is Robert Quackenbush, which, considering it's about a duck, I feel like that's not his actual real name. But if it is, that's hilarious, and maybe that's why it is a duck, because last name is Quackenbush. Some more kids' book stuff. Big Sleep, Raymond Chandler. Good story. One of the few cases where I think I prefer the movie. That's one of those rare cases. Just really, I don't know, maybe because I grew up loving the movie first. A couple of these Holly Black books. This is a bit timely now. Raging Heart. The intimate story of the tragic marriage of O.J. and Nicole Brown Simpson. That's a very timely find. One that I actually want to read before we put up on the store. Maybe it's going to be awesome enough I'll keep it, I don't know. But this particular book on the Great Depression, we have A Nation in Torment. The Great American Depression, 1929 to 39. I love that time in history as far as you're reading and exploring, and this is not a book that I've read before. And Night, talk about depressing things, and a couple of these horror collections. These were fun. These are some of the last things that I found. These hardcover horror collections. We have To Sleep, Perchance to Dream, Nightmare, 30 Terrifying Tales of these old horror collections, and the nice hardcover in really good shape. And then Best Horror 2. These were nice hardcover collections, and this is my favorite of the bunch though, this H.P. Lovecraft's Book of Horror, 21 Classic Tales. And another interesting vintage book, Delta of Venus, Erotica. Interesting. So some old erotic stories, but just variety. One book that's definitely for me, one I just kind of had to grab. We have The Last Days of MASH. Watch my channel, you know how much I love MASH. MASH is a thing that's like second only to Star Trek, my love of MASH, and this is not a book that I had seen before, so I was really excited to find this. So, one for our own collection, and that was it from this morning. Again, I love the variety. Just, I don't know what's going on with the movie stuff, which, you know, the way our store works, it kind of adjusts over time to what you find. That's kind of how you run, you know, this type of business, but it's weird sometimes once you build up in one category and then you don't have as much. But who knows, things change, ebb and flow. You find some weird stuff and just exciting. And this is one exciting thing about today, was that there's actually a good deal of these books that I actually want to read before they go anywhere, so it's always fun to get sort of, again, just like a, you know, free rental, like I'll have to take it back to the library, they can sell it for money. Always a fun thing. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.